So just when you thought that he would possibly take COVID seriously, Donald Trump has done it again. Yo, so this guy, okay. So Donald Trump, despite being sick with coronavirus and apparently being put on a ventilator the other day, and being pumped with steroids, allegedly, because none of us are in the hospital, but that's what's being said. Despite being sick with COVID, Donald Trump decided to make a public appearance for his fans outside of the hospital. So, yeah, let's take a listen to the audio from Reuters, and then let's talk about it.
U.S. President Donald Trump made a surprise drive-by greeting for cheering supporters outside Walter Reed Hospital on Sunday. It was his first public appearance since being evacuated there on Friday after testing positive for COVID-19. Trump wore a mask as he waved from the back seat of a black SUV, part of a motorcade that crawled past crowds of people waving Trump 2020 flags and chanting 4 more years. Trump announced earlier on Twitter he had planned a little surprise for his fans gathered outside.
Going to pay a little surprise.
But critics slammed Trump's appearance, with Dr. James Phillips, an attending physician at the hospital, writing on Twitter Sunday that, quote, "the irresponsibility is astounding." Phillips says that personnel who traveled in Trump's armored SUV would now have to self-quarantine for 14 days. Trump also says he's met soldiers and first responders at the hospital, raising new questions about whether he was now directly exposing others to the virus. A growing list of Trump allies and aides have also tested positive. However, White House spokesman Judd Deere said the trip had been approved by medical staff and that appropriate precautions had been taken. Trump's illness has upended his campaign just a month ahead of the election on November 3rd against Democratic opponent Joe Biden. Biden, who has so far tested negative after sharing a debate stage with Trump last week, has wished the president a speedy recovery, while also criticizing his response to the pandemic. Meanwhile, Trump's campaign vowed that Vice President Mike Pence, who would assume the presidency if Trump were unable to carry out his duties, would have an aggressive campaign schedule this week, as well as the president's 3 oldest children. Pence, who tested negative on Friday, is scheduled to debate Democratic vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris on Wednesday.
Your president's a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, man. I just don't know what else to say. This guy is out spreading COVID so that he can wave to his fans. Guys, if this isn't irresponsible, I don't know what else is. The drivers of the car, the people who drove him in the car, have to now quarantine for 14 days. Like, what is it come to? What is going on? Like, guys, I do not like Joe Biden one bit at all as a candidate. I hate Joe Biden as a candidate. That being said, I may have no choice but to vote for him. This guy, Donald Trump, is just so irresponsible. You're literally driving around in a car waving to people. A car with 2 people spreading COVID. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Look, at this point, you gotta have a mental deficiency. Like, you do realize you're sick with a deadly disease, right? And you do realize that you can spread that disease to the drivers, right? Also, Trump's like, oh, I've been in the hospital. I've been seeing soldiers and first responders. And these are amazing people. You have COVID. You could kill them. What are you doing? What are you doing, Donnie boy? What are you doing? Guys, Donald Trump, if getting COVID, right, won't make him take this pandemic seriously, he will never take this pandemic seriously. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. How stupid do you have to be to literally be driving around spreading COVID. Bro, this is a deadly disease, bro. And then he said, and then they said the hospital did approve it. And who's going to tell the president, no, you can't drive around in a car with two people who are negative, who you could be exposing to the virus? Who's going to tell the president no to anything he wants? No one. Okay? No one. Like, and you know what? Besides the fact that you can kill people, people could die from this. It's just a bad look as far as the general public. Like, of course, obviously the people who just are like, oh, Trump 2020, Trump, I love Trump, I love Trump, I love Trump. They're not going to, care. But everyone else, the swing state voters, I don't know, anybody with a rational mind is going to be like, what the hell is this guy doing? This guy's driving around with COVID, passing COVID. You know what? This has got to be one of the most ridiculous things. Like, I was like, okay, well, Trump is bad as a president, but, George Bush was worse, right? I'm not even convinced that George Bush was worse anymore. Like, I'm almost ready to say, like, give me George Bush back, but then I remember the Iraq War. And, all the innocent people who died in that. And I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. I don't want George Bush back. But, like, what is this guy doing, man? And you're driving around waving to people with exposing two drivers to COVID. Like, this guy's a fucking idiot. He could literally die from coronavirus himself, and he still won't take it seriously. And then I love how they're like, oh, well, he did wear a mask. It took you contracting coronavirus to wear a mask. It took you contracting coronavirus to wear a mask. Oh, I have a surprise for my loyal supporters and fans. I'm going to come out and cough on you. I'm going to come out and see you guys. From a social distance, no one's going to be near me except for my drivers and my driver. It's okay. My driver can be exposed, and also my Secret Service agent. It's okay. They can totally be exposed. The fuck? Bro, this is ridiculous. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, like, normally, like, I try to chill. I try to keep the cussing to a minimum, except for, like, when I have to make a specific point. But this is fucking ridiculous, man. Fucking ridiculous. We need Trump out of office. He's not going to take coronavirus seriously. If he's not taking his own health seriously, and the fact that this man could literally die from coronavirus, and apparently he wasn't doing too hot a couple days ago, and he's still not taking it seriously, guys, he's not going to take this seriously. If he doesn't care about not only himself, he doesn't care about his health, the health of his own driver and his own Secret Service agents. What makes you think he's going to care about you? What makes you think that he's going to care about essential workers getting hazard pay? What makes you think he's going to care about families, a second stimulus? He doesn't, okay? He doesn't. Only thing he cares about is himself and his perception to the people who will literally suck his dick. That's it. He doesn't care about anyone else. Okay? He just doesn't. He doesn't. Listen, if you want to sit this election out, totally understandable. I was going to vote third party. I'm not even going to lie. Howie Hawkins pretty much had my vote locked. But the way this guy has handled this coronavirus, between that and the protest, man, I almost feel like my hands are tied. Man, we got to get Trump out of office, man. He's got to go. Got to go.